some GPU news. The 5070 Ti MSRP is now listed at $899, so it's nowhere near the $750 retail that was announced, unfortunately. Two of the large US retailers have confirmed this. We saw it at Micro Center and we saw it at Best Buy. So Asus launched its 5080 Prime at MSRP, and it was covered in the first review. So remember, we talked about last week, they already upped the prices of the 5080 and 5090. It's crazy because the manufacturing tolerances on the power cable is absolutely awful and burning people's houses down. I'm being a little hyperbolic, but you guys get the point. I don't know. Anyways, and then they're upping the price on it. So obviously we're going to have those prices going up on the 5070 Ti. It looks like there's only one releasing at basically the launch pricing, which is the PNY RTX 5070 Ti. And that'll be at Micro Center, unfortunately. So, I mean, Best Buy does technically get PNY sometimes. We'll just have to see what availability looks like. Some reviewers already reached out to us saying that they will have the 5070 Ti Prime reviews on February 19th, so we should see it releasing on the 20th. Hopefully I'll be able to go get one. I can't head to Micro Center that day, I don't think. I got to look at my schedule, but that's that's like what? This week, right? Yeah, I didn't get off, boys. I had a rough week last week, so I did not get off, but we can see. We can see. Maybe I can snag one online. But there you go. It's going to be coming out here soon. It's pretty expensive. And we also have the 9070 XT launching on March 6th, which is a day after the supposed 5070 launch, which will be on March 5th. And so it says that there's an indication that AMD was holding off on the announcement and launch of the Radeon RX 9070 series until Nvidia confirmed its plans. There won't be any unlaunching of RTX cards at this point, so AMD is safe to assume that their card can be launched after Nvidia's latest RTX, the RTX 5070. Officially, AMD will present its RX 9070 series on February 28th, a week after the 5070 Ti launch and a week before the 5070 release. The good news is that the 9070 series won't have to wait much longer for its launch. The 9070 XT and non-XT cards are said to arrive on March 6th, a date as also we heard from our source and confirmed by BenchLife today. And they have the quote from BenchLife there. So here's some of the statistics on the 9070 XT. As you guys can see, we have 640 gigabytes a second of memory bandwidth. Obviously, if we compare that with the RTX 5070 Ti's 896 gigabytes of bandwidth, well, it's cooked for mining. And in reality, the 9070 bandwidth is not any better than previous generation AMD GPUs. You might be good with some speculative core intensive algorithms, but I'm not really having very high hopes for the 9070 in general, right? We're basically probably going to be looking at, for reference, 60 mega hash a second on your ETH hash coins, 120 mega hash a second or so on your Ergo Autolicos coins, and then on the Raven coin, you know, the Raven coin will probably be quite a bit better, I think, than the 50 series as far as efficiency numbers go. I'm going to take a stab at like 30 to 35 mega hash a second if it plays out the way I think it does. It's a little harder because core is a little bit harder to predict, especially on new architectures. Now, the 5070 Ti is going to be an absolute blast to mine with at $750. We already saw the 5080 is currently the most efficient GPU out right now for mining a majority of algorithms. And this one's going to be coming in $250 cheaper on retail and giving us almost the exact same memory performance. I think it's a little short by about 100 gigabytes a second, but you're also dropping that power consumption down. It's going to be a beast. I think it's going to be a lot of fun to play with. Obviously, we can overclock it, get that a little bit further up on the memory, because the GDDR7 has been running really cool for me on the 5080. So we should be able to get good overclock numbers out of it. On the memory side of things, I think getting, a terabyte a second is not out of the question at this point. And with that 300 watt TDP, the lower core clocks and core count core count specifically compared to the 5080, not much lower, but a little lower. I think, like, honestly, we're going to see some really, really cool numbers coming out of the 5070 Ti from a mining perspective. So I'm really excited for this launch. Hopefully I can figure out how to get one, but we'll see. Now, I did see some specifications leaked for the 9070. Obviously, the big one was confirming that the memory is at only 640 gigabytes a second, and that is pretty disappointing. I think, like, obviously the Kapow algorithms, this has a good chance at being good at, and so that's really what I'm looking forward to with these GPUs. Everything else is kind of like meh, probably, in general. But I hope you enjoyed this clip from the Crypto Mining Show. If you would like to see more from this particular episode, take a look up here. Don't forget to also subscribe to the channel. And if you want to support me directly, you can go to sonofatech.locals.com and become a member. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next Tuesday.